Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we are putting together my bullet journal setup for the month of April. I did not film an intro or an outro because I somehow forgot to. I filmed this video like a month ago and completely forgot to actually film the intro and outro, but I want to get this out for you. So here are all of the materials that I'm using. Dingbats journal, we have a graphic liner, Signo white gel pen, and some Guoache. I thoroughly have been loving using this gouache set lately. It's fantastic. And this Dingbat journal actually does a pretty stellar job of holding onto the paint without actually bleeding through or ghosting through. It's really great. So for this month's theme, it was voted on over by my patrons on my Patreon. And the theme for this month is air balloons. I am so excited. I love this theme. I love just any excuse to paint a bunch of stripes and colors. It's fantastic. I decided to go with kind of a more, I wouldn't necessarily say retro, but for the font style, it is still a faux calligraphy there with a heavy weight set on the bottom part of the letters here. Decided to go for obviously some bright colors, some nice springtime colors here with the pink. A good little drop shadow is going to happen here with some purple. We love the contrast. And I am just loving how this paint is going down and sitting on this paper. It's very smooth as long as you're not adding too much water into the gouache. Kind of works as a watercolor, but if you add too much water, it does wrinkle the page a bit. So you just might want to do some testing as you're going through. I'm adding some of these yellow little decals, little stars. I just like how it looks. Keeps it retro. And now we're going in with some hot air balloons. So how I like to do my hot air balloons is first I go in with a pencil, draw a little circle, and then I just start painting some stripes on. I honestly did not really look up what hot air balloons look like before painting this. So this was just like a fun thing to do. It's circles and stripes. It's very easy. For the smaller hot air balloons, I just did a full-on color. Just didn't want to bother trying to do the stripes for those ones. And then I would go in and add some more colors and details on once the initial layer had dried. For the lettering for April, I went in with a white gel pen and just lined the inside, giving it a nice little pop. And then outline the letters with a graphic pen. To continue on with the hot air balloons, going in with the pen, I slightly outline the balloon part and then using 4 lines. I use that as the string that connects the basket to the balloon. It's simple, it looks great. Is it anatomically correct? I don't know, but it works. And that's it for the friends, and on to the next spread. So this one here is my month at a glance. I wanted to try to do kind of a slight effect here with the paint, as if the calendar itself is translucent and there are clouds and the balloons that are going behind the translucency. Hopefully that makes sense. I like the way it turned out. I like the effect that it had. So I blocked out where the dates were going to be on outside of that block. I painted the hot air balloons and the clouds a darker color. Then on the inside, I went ahead with a bit more water and a bit more white and lightened it up a little bit. I used my graphic liner to detail the balloons and the clouds on the outside of those boxes just so that way it would have a bolder shape. And then I just went ahead with a Pilot G2 pen in a 0.05 and did some slight details on the inside of the box. I wanted to do this because when I'm using my actual month at a glance, sometimes I forget that I actually write in there when I'm doing all the painting, and I'm not giving myself enough space to actually be able to write and see what I'm writing down. So the translucency worked out really well for me. That's it for my month at a glance, and on to the next spread. So I wanted to try some other trackers this month. As great as the ones from last month were, it honestly was more fun to decorate and a little empty outside of those decorations because I wasn't really able to fully use them. I think my life in general was just a little less active than what my bullet journal life wants it to be. Please tell me some of you guys relate to that. But the trackers here that I have on the left is split between goals and ideas. Last month, I wanted to be specific about what the goals were for, but this time I wanted to give myself a bit more of an empty canvas to work with because I did not do that good with actually tracking last month's specific like social media or anything like that. And then just a blank space for ideas as well. And then on the right, I wanted to give myself a lot of space to do things to be grateful for. Writing down positivity, whether it's things that are happening internally within myself or things externally within just life, work, marriage, all of the above. I wanted to have a space to write that down so when I'm flipping through later, I can read it and be reminded. That's going to do it for this tracker, and on to our first weekly spread. As usual, I like to put the first letter of the month in the top left corner. I just like the way it looks, and when you're flipping through the journal, you can really easily track to see which month you are on. I decided for this one I wanted to do just clouds with the dates in them, and like I said, I did actually film this before April even happened, so the first few days of April, there's only like 3 of them in that week. So on the right side, I actually wanted to try to do some more lettering. It's been quite a while in my books since I have last sat down to do some lettering, so I really wanted to give myself some space to be able to go ahead and practice with this. Keeping with the theme of aeronautical, I think that's how you say the word, I chose the quote, "Come away with me," because I was also listening to Nora Jones a lot when I was planning the spread, and I absolutely adore her. She's fantastic. I'm adding in some more of those hot air balloons behind the lettering here. And going back in with that graphic liner to write out the days, the date next to the days. I also give myself a space of to do for every week. And of course, adding in some more of those details for the hot air balloons and the lettering. I really like how outlining these letters really helps make the colors pop. And I decided to do kind of like a box lettering for away, box lettering or a drop shadow, but a reverse drop shadow because it's clear. But that's gonna do it for the entirety of my April spread. So we're just gonna go back to the front here and do a nice little flip through. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!